All right, let's go. Back again for another deep dive. And I don't know about you, but this Premier League weekend, well, this one was something special.
It really was one for the books. So many talking points, so many big results.
Well, let's dive right in then, shall we? Where do we even begin? I mean, we had Manchester United absolutely dismantling Leicester City, that Chelsea-Arsenal clash, always a tense one.
Oh, that North London derby is something else.
Right. And then on top of that, you have Brighton holding Manchester City to a draw. Like, come on. That's not something you see every day.
No, not at all. And that's what makes this league so exciting. You just never know what's going to happen.
That's the beauty of it, right? Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. Starting with that 3-0 drubbing that Man U gave Leicester, that felt like a statement.
Yeah, it wasn't just about the scoreline. It was the way they controlled every aspect of the game. I mean, you look at their midfield with Bruno Fernandes orchestrating everything. They were pulling Leicester out of position, creating space for those runs.
It was like watching a perfectly executed plan. They were just so in sync.
Yeah, and when they were attacking, it wasn't just aimless passing. They were probing, looking for weaknesses, and they found them.
And those goals. Fernandes setting up Rashford for that opener, and then Sancho adding to the tally. I mean, talk about clinical fitness.
Sancho's been a revelation on that wing, adding another dimension to their attack, but it wasn't just about the goals.
Oh, absolutely. Their defense was a wall.
Varane and Martinez, they were rock solid, shutting down anything Leicester tried to throw at them.
And De Gea, when he was called upon, came up big with some crucial saves. I think that performance put some doubts to rest.
It definitely silenced a few critics, but back to the midfield, it wasn't just about the attack. They were winning the ball back so quickly.
Yeah, that pressing was relentless. It completely disrupted Leicester's rhythm.
It was a complete performance from Manchester United, really showed what they're capable of when they're firing on all cylinders.
Okay, so from a dominant win to a much tighter affair, let's talk about that London derby, Chelsea against Arsenal.
Oh man, that one was intense. As always, a real tactical battle.
Ending in a 1-0 victory for Arsenal, but it could have gone either way, really.
It was all about that midfield battle. You had Odegaard, Partey, and Xhaka for Arsenal. They were absolutely everywhere.
They were immense, just completely controlled the tempo of the game. And then Saka,
Oh, that goal was special.
I mean, that cut inside, the way he just danced past those defenders, and then that curling shot past Mendy. Come on, that's a goal worthy of winning any derby.
A moment of individual brilliance for sure, but, Arsenal's defense deserves credit too. They were so disciplined.
They hardly gave Chelsea a sniff at goal.
Yeah, they really limited their opportunities, especially down the wings.
Chelsea, on the other hand, they just couldn't seem to break through. Their attack lacked that spark that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, I think they missed some key players in that midfield.
Yeah.
Their usual creativity was just missing.
Do you think that absence played a big role in the outcome?
I think it definitely had an impact. Their flow was disrupted and they couldn't quite find that cohesion.
Right. Okay. So from a tense derby to a result that nobody saw coming.
Brighton holding Manchester City to a draw, a 2-2 draw.
2-2 against that City side. I mean, how often do you see that happen?
It's a testament to how much Brighton has grown as a team. Tactically, they were superb.
They seem to have an answer for everything City threw at them, especially for Haaland.
Yeah, they really neutralized him. They didn't give him any space to operate.
It was like they had a plan for every single player on that City team, and not only did they defend well, but they hit back on the counter.
Oh, they were clinical on the break dunk with that goal from a set piece, a classic example of how to take advantage of those situations.
And then Matoma setting up Welbeck for that second goal. The speed, the precision on that counterattack, it was brilliant to watch.
Even with Haaland and Foden scoring for City, Brighton held firm. They earned that draw.
They made City work for every inch of that pitch. It really shows that the gap at the top is closing.
It's proof that tactical awareness and discipline can really disrupt even the most dominant teams.
I think it makes you question the whole hierarchy of the league. It's not just about star power anymore. It's about how you utilize your tactics.
Yeah, exactly. It's about exploiting weaknesses and nullifying your opponent's strengths.
So while those were the big headline matches, we can't forget about some of the other interesting results.
Oh, there were plenty, starting with Fulham's surprise win over Tottenham. Yeah, 2-0 win for Fulham. Talk about an upset. Tottenham were definitely not expecting that.
Yeah, it seems like more and more these so-called smaller teams are figuring out how to take down the giants.
Well, they're not just relying on individual brilliance anymore. They're coming in with a game plan, they're organized, and they're making it really difficult for the big teams.
And Fulham did exactly that. They completely shut down Tottenham's attack. I mean, Harry Kane and Son, those guys were practically invisible.
Yeah, they had no space to work with. Ring and Otarabioyo at the back. For Fulham, they were immense, just snuffing out every attack.
And then you have Palhinha in the midfield.
Oh, he was everywhere, breaking up plays, winning those tackles. He was the engine behind Fulham's success.
He really dictated the tempo of the game, and when Fulham did get the ball, those counterattacks were lethal.
Oh, yeah, so dangerous. And Mitrovic, that guy's a goal machine. That header for the first goal, classic Mitrovic.
Textbook stuff. And once they got that first goal, you could just sense the momentum shift. Tottenham started to press, leaving those gaps at the back.
And Fulham were ready to exploit those gaps, and then Pereira, that free kick for the second goal, unstoppable.
What a strike. The keeper had no chance. That really sealed the deal for Fulham, a well-deserved win.
It was a masterclass in how to play against a team like Tottenham, and it's a reminder that in this league, on any given day, any team can beat any other team.
It's what makes the Premier League so unpredictable, right? You just never know what's going to happen.
Exactly. And speaking of well-coached teams exceeding expectations, how about Brentford? They took down Bournemouth 2-1.
Another solid performance from them. They seem to have found their rhythm. That midfield control was impressive.
Yeah, Nørgaard and Jensen were fantastic. They really bossed that midfield, didn't they? Bournemouth just couldn't get anything going.
Their passing was crisp. Their movement was intelligent. They really stifled Bournemouth's attempts to build any sort of attack.
And going forward, they were clinical fare. And Mbeumo's goal was a perfect example of their teamwork. A series of quick passes cut through Bournemouth's defense like a hot knife through butter.
And then you have Tony, another penalty. The guy's ice cold from the spot.
He's so reliable, a real leader for that Brentford team. And, while Bournemouth did show some flashes, it wasn't enough.
So Lunky had a couple of decent chances, but overall they just lacked that cutting edge. Brentford's defense was too organized, too disciplined.
Exactly. They made it very difficult for Bournemouth to create anything meaningful. So another impressive win for Brentford.
Okay, now let's talk about Wolves, their 2-1 victory over Southampton. Another match where midfield control was key.
Oh, absolutely. Neves, Moutinho, Nunes, that trio was outstanding. They just controlled the pace of the game.
It felt like they were always a step ahead, anticipating Southampton's moves and shutting them down before they could even develop.
Their movement was excellent, always creating passing options, always finding space. It was a real tactical clinic.
And that first goal, a classic Wolves goal, a Neves free kick, and Jimenez with that powerful header, just unstoppable.
It's what they do so well. Set pieces, aerial threat, they've got it down to a science.
And then Podence adds another goal. After a brilliant run and assist from Neto, shows you how quickly they can transition from defense to attack.
Yeah, they can be devastating on the break. And while Southampton did try to fight back, they just couldn't match Wolves' intensity and organization.
Ward-Prowse, as always, dangerous from set pieces, but it wasn't enough for Southampton.
So, looking back at these results, we've seen some really dominant wins, some surprising upsets, some fantastic goals.
It's been a weekend full of action and drama, which I think begs the question, what does all this mean for the bigger picture?
That's a great point. What are these results telling us about the league standings? And, are there any emerging trends we can identify?
Yeah, let's break it down. Starting at the top of the table, things are getting really interesting.
Yeah, it's really heating up at the top. Manchester United, they're looking strong. And Arsenal, that win against Chelsea, shows they're not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight race to the finish line, that's for sure.
And we can't count out Manchester City. They might have dropped points this weekend, but they've still got that incredible depth in their squad.
Yeah, they've got the experience, they've got the quality. They'll be right back in the mix.
Oh, for sure. And let's not forget about Liverpool either. They might have had a bit of a rocky start, but you can never rule them out.
No, never underestimate Liverpool. Especially when their attack is clicking, they can be unstoppable.
But what's really interesting is how the Premier League is becoming so much more competitive, not just at the top, but throughout the table.
Yeah, we're seeing teams like Brighton, Brentford, Fulham. They're proving that with the right tactics and the right mindset, you can challenge anyone.
Absolutely. It's not just about having the biggest names or spending the most money anymore.
It's about having a clear strategy, having a team that understands their roles, and having the discipline to execute that plan.
And as we saw this weekend, those so-called underdog teams can be just as exciting to watch.
Oh, absolutely. The Premier League is evolving, and it's making for some incredible football.
Yeah, we're seeing a resurgence of that counterattacking style. Teams like Fulham and Brighton, They're showing how effective it can be against those possession-heavy sides.
And the importance of midfield control. That's been a key factor in so many of these matches.
Teams like Manchester United, Arsenal, Wolves, they're all showing that if you control the midfield, you control the game.
It's like a chess match out there. Every move, every pass, every tackle, it all has a purpose.
And it's not just about physicality or athleticism anymore. It's about intelligence. It's about anticipation. It's about reading the game.
Yeah, the tactical side of the game has become so crucial, and that's what makes the Premier League so captivating.
It's a thinking man's game now.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to turn it over to you, our listener. What were your takeaways from this weekend's action?
What moments stood out to you? What trends did you notice? What surprised you?
Was it Fulham's defensive masterclass against Tottenham? Was it Brighton's fearless approach against Manchester City?
Or maybe it was something else entirely, something that made you rethink the way you see this league.
We want you to keep thinking, keep analyzing, keep enjoying this beautiful game.
Because that's what it's all about, the passion, the drama, the unpredictable nature of the Premier League.
That's what keeps us coming back for more, week after week.
So until next time, keep exploring the beautiful game, and we'll catch you on the next Deep Dive. See you then.